Hi, HBS. So today, Thursday, you are going to be spending some time with your group or your partner, rather, uh, working on your biometrics project. So, what I've done is I've created a template on a Google slideshow that you should have access to um, in Google Classroom. But basically, the template is designed to sort of drive your work so that it looks so that they're like a lot of times students ask, how many slides do I have to have, and all of that stuff, like, and what do they have to look like, and all that stuff like that. So hopefully the template, which I'll talk about in a minute, will help you with that. Now, so the first thing is that you got the rubric yesterday, and I will include the rubric again on Google Classroom for you to take a look at. But basically, there's about 10 or 11 minimum slides that you need to have. So the first one, and I'm going to kind of go into this right now, is the introduction of your company. So basically, you need to come up with some type of a company name. You need to have some type of maybe branding that goes along with it, maybe a little logo action there. And so that's going to be the introduction of your company. And then you need to have some type of company mission statement. Now, your mission statement, like, people take classes and pay big money to have mission statements created for their companies. I don't think it needs to be that complicated for this particular assignment. There is a link in the template to go to Joe's mission state generator, and you simply just click the buttons and then click go, and at the bottom, and it kind of creates a generic mission statement for you, and then you can go ahead and just add that there. You're more than welcome to do a little bit more research on mission statements if that's really something you're super excited about, but that's just kind of something to start with. You might want to fluff out your mission statement after you've got the basics, but that's worth part of your grade. So then the next part of your grade is going to be the clearly outline your biometric security protocol. So basically what I'm looking for is, how many steps is it going to take for a client to access something? For example, if they are accessing the vault, how many biometric steps is a person going to have to go through in order to get there and access it and open it up and get inside of it? The minimum requirement is 2. But I'm not saying you need to stop there. It's kind of encouraged to do a little bit more than 2. So there's that part of this. The next part of the rubric talks about explaining how the biometric technologies work. So the next slide says how the biometric technology works. But I think that you really need to alter that title to really address the biometric tech that you're using there, and then a little bit about the science behind how the tech works. So we're looking for how that particular piece of technology identifies the individual in question. So if it is a hand scan, what is it doing behind the hand scan, behind the scenes? What is your body providing, and what is the technology doing to that? And so there's 2 identical slides here. And those 2 identical slides are for the minimum of the 2 pieces of biometric tech. If you use more than 2 pieces of biometric tech, by all means, just add some more, but you need these 2 at minimum. So then the next part is accuracy and limitations. So on the slideshow, we have accuracy and limitations. So I've kind of created 3 boxes here, one for accuracy of the tech, one for limitations of the tech, and one for how easy it would be to beat the system. That is, how easy would it be for a nefarious individual who wanted to, like, say, I don't know, get to the group. How easy would it be for that individual to do that with your technology in place? And some of this can be data. Some of this can be a thought process, or basically logic, like says that if you have to go through all of these steps, it's going to be nearly impossible to beat. But there should be some evidence to support that. So when you're talking about the accuracy of your of the tech that you're using, you might want to talk about how accurate it actually is. Like, find a number, a percentage of that. If you are talking about the limitations to the tech, find some numbers or some data to support that. And then how easy would it be to beat the system? Don't just say it's nearly impossible to beat the system, because I don't know, the movies make it sound like the system can always be beat. So really put in some thought into this statement right here. The next thing talks about success story. So like you are selling your brand. You are trying to get somebody. Oh yeah, sorry, I got ahead of myself. I put accuracy and limitations for 2 slides in a row here, one for each piece of tech. Sorry, I forgot about that. Okay, success story. So you're selling your brand, and you want somebody's going to be like, well, how do I know you're going to do a good job? I mean, that's the question you're attempting to answer here. And in reality, the answer to that question is a lot of times people use testimonials, or so this can be a simple statement, or this can be a brief video clip. Like you get your brother to say, this company saved my organization. Or something like that. I don't know, just kind of, this is some fluff, some zhuzh, if you will. So you might want to zhuzh that up a little bit and create a success story there. And then the next one is privacy. So now this part here is kind of an important part. So like it is something that's often discussed with biometric technology. And one of the things that is discussed is, yes, you might be creating a system that is very, very, very safe for the company or the client, but at what cost to the people that work there? So, for example, many of you watched the movie Gattaca in biology, and you might recall that every piece of or everything that a person does in the Gattaca society is basically centered around some type of biometric tech. They either do an eye scan, or they do a blood sample, or they do, or they run a piece of DNA. They run DNA off of somebody's hair, or a saliva sample, or all of these things. I mean, you may remember that or not. I don't recall. I don't know. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that in that environment, basically, you don't have any privacy as a private citizen. So what you want to address is, how much privacy do you believe that is left to the citizen and to the employees of this company? So, for example, at the district, we have key cards. The staff has key cards to get into the building. And there's nothing beyond that. So, like, there's a lot of privacy in terms of a teacher who's allowed to kind of be their own person in the building. And the district isn't like taking blood samples and like using that information to analyze us and tell us what we can and can't do. So that's kind of what I want you to think about here when we talk about privacy. And I just kind of rambled there, but like that's kind of the what we're talking about here. So then the next thing after privacy would be, and your template anyway, would be your resources slide. Your resources slide, and that's not a her, that should be here. The resources slide was going to basically be, I'm assuming you're doing most of your research on the website, on the web. So you should have the title of each website or the URL that you used. You need to have at least 5 sources. You are allowed to use some of the sources that I linked in the original document, and I apologize that some of those didn't work. I did try to have one of them unblocked. That first one that was blocked, unblocked today, and I don't know if it's unblocked or not. I'm at home, so clearly I can access it. So hopefully they unblocked it for you guys. And then the other parts of this presentation are going to be tone and aesthetics and organization. Well, I've taken care of the organization. Your job is to take care of the aesthetics. So every slide, with the exception of probably the title slide, needs to have one picture. Now, the picture could be about the piece of biotech itself, or in the case of a testimonial, it might be a picture of the person providing the testimonial. And then I've also taken care of the presentation is in order of this rubric. I've set that all up for you. The other part is the tone of the presentation. So the plan for this is that on Monday, when I get back, that's when I'm supposed to be allowed to come back. I would like you to start giving these presentations to the class. So you're going to be the audience would be the class, but the class is going to be your client. So you have to imagine that the client is Culver's, or the client is the CEO of Quick Trip, or something along those lines. So it is a persuasive presentation because you are trying to get hired. Think Shark Tank, think persuasive essay, and both of the members of the group need to participate in the presentation. So that's the long and the short of your project here. It's so the other thing is when I'm going to grade it, this is how I'm going to use the rubric. In each of those boxes, I'm going to be giving you a 4, 3.5, 3, 1, or a 2. 4 to be advanced, like you did you did above and beyond, and you did, not only did you do the work, but you went above. Proficient would be you did the work and you did a good job. You might have sniffed going above, but you did a really good job. Basic is you did some of the things that we're supposed to do, but you missed some things. And then minimal would be that you either didn't do it, or you didn't understand what was going on, or you just kind of phoned this one in. So, and each of these you can get a 3, a 1, 2, a 3, 3.5, or a 4 for each of these boxes. So when all is said and done, the final score after I do a little bit of math here is going to be 32, and that's what will go in the grade book. If you have any further questions, please send me an email tomorrow while you're working on this, or today while you're working on this in class. Today, this is supposed to be for Thursday. And I will address them as soon as I can. Have a wonderful day, and good luck.